Hello guys and welcome back to Haymanager with me Alex, and today we've got a very interesting FPL video to go through. So I'm going to start with this year the FPL 2023-24 squad selection and who is in my team. We're going to do this weekly, get to know who's going to be doing well in the preseason, who isn't. At the moment we've seen West Ham with Danny Ings, Jared Bowen's playing really well, Donny van de Beek scored today, Newcastle are having a bit of a shaky one, no key starters in there but Almiron has scored. We've seen Tottenham get overrun by West Ham. There's Everton, who have won 2-1, who look very strong. Iwobi and McNeil, the two wingers, doing very well on either side. Very good teams playing very good games, but who is going to be the little secret player to put into your team? So we're going to go through, we're going to see who I've selected for my team. This is Revision 1. So I don't know what it's called this episode, maybe Squad Revision 1, something like that. So let's jump into who I've got in my team. So above me, as you can see, I'll have some little graphics just to go through, just to take you through who I think is going to be the standout players within this side. So we'll start with goalkeepers. In there, I've got Jordan Pickford. I think Everton will have a strong start to the season. As you can see, their start to the season involves Fulham, Aston Villa away from home, and then Wolves at home as well. So 2 games at home, you're looking at Fulham and Wolves, both probably relegation candidates, I think. Losing Ruben Neves, looks like it's going to lose Mitrovic as well, Fulham. I think Pickford is going to be very good, and as you can see here as well, despite having a bad year last year, he got 8 clean sheets. He had an incredible ICT index, 3rd out of all goalkeepers, and I think for 4.5 million he's a steal. I don't know why he's been rated so low. I think 5 million would have been decent for Pickford. You look at other keepers, probably should have been lower. I think Pope, I know 5.5, a lot of clean sheets on that, but I think not that many saves. He's not having fantastic games. It's just a very good set unit, probably 5 million worth it for him. But anyway, Pickford and then Martinez as my backup, 5 million. I think this was probably I'd say maybe a bit too high, but I think it probably suits, to be honest. He's rated 6th out of all goalkeepers. I think he has a lot of influence on the game. He's very creative, good on the line. 11 clean sheets for him. Unai Emery's going to have an absolute field day with this man. There's only 2 games out of the starting 5, Newcastle and Liverpool, where I think I'll have to bench him. But then you can see here we've got Jordan Pickford, who has Sheffield United and Fulham during those 2 games. So alternating between Martinez and Pickford, see how that goes. Next up we've got Estupiñán, so I'll quickly just get up as a graphic Estupiñán for you. That is actually Gabriel Jesus. Get up Estupiñán, here he is, this man, 31 games played last season, 10 clean sheets, 7 assists, and to beat that, 51.5% of people have selected him. ICT index very high. He's going to be your out and out player. I was contemplating whether or not to get Lamptey, but I think just for the time being, I'm not seeing Brighton play. We do have the USA tournament that's going on, where Brighton are going to partake in that. I want to see if Tariq Lamptey starts, because I know they played Veltman last year as like a strong back 3 and then a wing back in Estupiñán to slot in. But then moving on, we've got Zinchenko. I think I want to try and get a wing back in there. I don't think Tomiyasu is going to play. I don't think Tierney's going to play over Zinchenko. I think he's the starting man. He added something extra to that Arsenal side last year. He, in fact, did have 2 assists, but nothing special. Only 26 starts, but as you can see, there's Arsenal's start to the season. Anything less than, what's that? How many games is that? 21 points. Anything less than 18 points, I think's a failure there, in my opinion. You've got United and Spurs. You're probably hoping to get a win against Spurs. United at home as well, maybe 2 draws out of that. You can see them dropping 4 points, so I think 17 points is something to aim at. So Zinchenko in there. Luke Shaw, I think United have a decent start to the season. Wolves and Forest do have a few sticky games in there. Spurs away, we've got Arsenal away, Brighton at home, but then it does clear out. So a nice first half of the season for United, a nice first half indeed. Then I've got Rashford in there. United not signing a striker yet. I think he'll be the main striker, playing off the back of that back 4 that was back 2. You see Ten Hag making a lot of comments about him playing off the back line, being able to get that pace in behind. He'll probably take that left-hand side role maybe. I can't see Martial starting up front. Have to just see how that sort of develops with Rashford, but I think he's got to start. He has to start every game when he's fit. Saka's in there. We've seen Arsenal actually draw 1-1 in their latest friendly, should I say. Saka did get the goal in that, and he looks very lethal. He looked lethal for England during the pre-season, or the interim between the end of the Premier League season last year and the new Premier League season this year. Foden, now Phil Foden from Manchester City, obviously from Manchester City, born and bred. I'm going to just show you his card here. So on here, 4.4 points per match, 210.9 for the ICT index, only selected by 12.6% of players. For 7.5 million, I think this man's a steal. He's in the top 20 midfielders. He only played 22 games last year. He had an expected goal contribution of only 10, but he did get 11 goals and 7 assists. So you can see here, expected goals only 6, expected assists only 4, 5. I think he's going to be a secret sort of underlying player there. The way he comes forward from the midfield, the way he attacks, he can play off the left. We know that Mahrez is going to go this season, so maybe Foden might adapt into that right hand side, maybe pull Grealish in, push Grealish out to the left hand side, put Foden through the middle with Haaland. How that's going to play, I don't know, but Foden has to start. He has to start. He's going to be a fantastic player in that midfield. Then I've gone for Dwight McNeil. I believe in the Sean Dyche new era at Everton. I think Dwight McNeil is a fantastic footballer as well. He's developed. He's gone through those early stages. He was brought through at Burnley by Sean Dyche. As you can see here, 2018, 19, 20. Through there, he's getting around about 7, 9, and 7 again goal contributions. Had a bit of a slow year. I think he got a bit of an injury in that year where he only did get 84 points, but still played a lot of games. And last year picked up an injury, couldn't play as much. Iwobi sort of took the limelight, but for less than 1%, this is my differential pick. I think they've got a nice first 4 games. Fulham, Aston Villa, maybe nick a goal away from home. Wolves and Sheffield United, I think that's a nice few games. And 2 difficult ones in Arsenal, Brentford, but then Luton, Bournemouth. I think there's some pretty nice games. Then up front, I've got Ferguson, Gabriel Jesus and Haaland. We'll just quickly go through Gabriel Jesus dead quick, as I did bring up his little stat card above there. So as you can see, 4.8 points per match, 241.9 on the ICT index, only selected by 32.8%. A lot of people are weaning away from Gabriel Jesus. Everyone's saying avoid him. He's very much of a creative forward, but arguably those 24 matches played, 11 goals, 7 assists, he's only played 24, and I know Martin Odegaard had 15 goals, 8 assists, but Martin Odegaard started an extra 12 games. If you look at this, you look at maybe Gabriel Jesus playing another 12 games for this, you're looking like another 5 goals on top of that, so 17, 18 goals. And then another maybe 4 assists, 11 assists, so an 18 goal, 11 assist season for a forward, I think is very good. And for 8 million, I'm surprised he's only that cheap for 8 million. And Arsenal have probably the kindest start to the season I've ever seen. They had a very kind season to start off last year. They've got an incredibly kind one this year, and I think you've got to go for him. It's Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, Jesus. Who you go for? Havertz doesn't strike me as a player that's going to come in and hit the ground running, but those 4, you've got to choose your 2. I've chosen Saka and Jesus. It's just got to be. Ferguson from Brighton started a lot of games at the end of last season, picked up 6 goals in 10 starts with 2 assists. I think he looks lethal. I think he looks like a very, very good player. He's destined for Chelsea. He feels like he's destined for Chelsea, but I'd love him at Manchester United. Evan Ferguson is unbelievable. I think he's going to be a fantastic player this year. First 3 games for Brighton, very kind. After that, you're looking at a very difficult mid first half of the season to the back end, and you've got a few nicer games as well. So Ferguson probably be the one that I'll take out sooner or later. 6 million, you can sort of replace him with the likes of Danny Ings. I think who else is there that you can also pick up? That's a forward. Maybe if Mitrovic does stay, maybe him, but maybe selecting someone like a 1 year. I think it's a 1 a year. I think it is from Nottingham Forest. That might be a good pickup as well. But for 6 million, is a nice pick. And then the bench, as you can see here, as again, I believe all I want is wing backs at the moment. Until we see who's going to get that really good form, I think United probably would be a good one to get centre backs for. But I want to try and get a few assists in there. Michaelenko, not had the great first 2 years at Everton, but I think that can change. I think him bombing it down the left with Dwight McNeil would be a nice little bit of a link up. I was going to go with someone like a Chilwell. I've got $1 million to spare, but I don't think Chilwell for Chelsea is going to start off the year fantastically. They've got a poor start. Jacob Ramsey, now this is the special pick. This is the special pick. If you haven't got Jacob Ramsey in your team, pick that man up now. He is unbelievably special. You look at the back end of last year, he was getting assists, he was getting goals. The start of last year didn't really do him justice, but the 6 goals, 8 assists, Ollie Watkins obviously helped him out with how many goals he was scoring. But I think this man as a contributor, look at that. Expected goals contribution or involvements was only 8. He ended up with 14. I think this man, he wins your penalties, he wins your free kicks, he gets into the box. He reminds me much like a Foden, but a bit more of that box-to-box build, bit of a tricky play, like an advanced playmaker. Whereas I think Foden is suited to be like some sort of like Metzala, where he runs in late, gets forward very much. So Jacob Ramsey has to be in your team. He has to be. 2.2% of people selected. He's in the top 34 midfielders, and he's only 6 million, 4 points a game. Unbelievable. And then Alex Moreno for me at the moment. He's out with an injury, but I want to get another defender into my side. He started a lot of the games at the back end of last year when Unai Emery picked up the managerial role. 3 assists he got. It was him or Matty Cash. We've obviously seen Ashley Young leave the club. I think Moreno is the man. I think he's the man. It's him or Matty Target, because Matty Target was playing on that right hand side. There's no one to sort of play on that right hand side now that Ashley Young isn't going to be taking those roles. So I don't like Digne. I prefer Moreno. He's Spanish. You can see what Unai Emery's trying to build there. Pau Torres coming in would be a nice little pick if Aston Villa managed to pick up a few clean sheets. But that's my squad for Game Week 1, Revision 1. So next week and the week after and the week after that, I'll bring you a good little video, let you know any updates. This one's to start it off. I think we can see my reasons for picking these players. Let me know down below in the comments who you're going to pick for your team. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying this sort of content. I'll go to the end of the page, change my setup, a bit of rebranding going on. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, as ever, please leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and I shall catch you in the next one. Good luck with your Fantasy Premier League teams. Let me know who you have in your team, and yeah, maybe I'll take some tips from you guys. But yeah, stay safe, stay humble. Ciao.